let me welcome a diehard LeBron James fan, a diehard Cleveland sports fan, known as the Court Rusher, at least that's what I like to call him, James Blair. Thanks for joining the show tonight, James. How's it going, man?
Not too bad. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. And so, for those who don't know, on March 20th, 2013, maybe it was almost 2 months ago, you were in attendance during the Heat versus Cavaliers game, wearing a shirt that said, "We miss you, come back in 2014." Those comments, obviously, towards LeBron. The security guards eventually got you once you rushed onto the basketball court, and you're being escorted, and it looked like LeBron shook your hand or something. Is all that right so far?
Yeah, the security grabbed me, and as they were about to start to take me off the court, LeBron actually walked up to me, gave me like a little high five, and then like a half hug, and tapped me on the back of my head and just told me he respected it, and then they took me away.
And I mean, just since then, myself, thousands of others, we followed you on Twitter at JamesBlair06. We find out that you're planning on running onto the court for a minute, right? I mean, it wasn't just an in-the-moment type thing, was it?
Oh, no, I planned this. Like, early in the year I thought about it, but I actually really decided to do it about a month or so before.
All right, and here's a question on Twitter from @WhySoBeal, and they asked, did you ever second-guess your decision to run onto the court?
I wouldn't say second guess. I was more worried about it not being able to go through. But like from the get-go, I knew I was going to end up doing it. So no, I didn't second guess myself, but I did think that it wasn't going to be possible with all the security they had there for that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And, with all the fans being so crazy about LeBron there in Cleveland, obviously he played many years with the Cleveland Cavaliers. What were they like after this whole thing went down? What were the fans like towards you?
Well, I was surprised by how supportive a lot of people were. A lot of people were like telling me that, oh, this is how I felt for the longest time, and the fact that you go out and show this makes me feel like I can show it now. And like a majority of the people actually supported it and said, hey, if he did come back, they would support it. But I mean, you always are going to have the people that are disappointed still and still hurt over what happened. So I still have a lot of people at the same time saying that I embarrassed them and I embarrassed the city of Cleveland and whatnot. So I mean, you're always going to have the naysayers, though.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And it looked like you were saying something when you were on the court. What were you saying once you were on the court?
Well, I was planning to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I wanted to grab the ball and try to shoot it. Like, I was going to do all this stuff. But then when I actually got on the court, I was, like, so shocked that I made it. Like, everything went out the window. And LeBron was actually, like, right there when I got on. So I just tapped him on the back of his arm and was, like, yelled his name. And he turned and looked at me and was really shocked. And then I was just like, LeBron, I'm your biggest fan. And I told him that I missed him, and then I said, we miss you, and you got to come back to Cleveland. And that was all. And then they took me away.
Now, James, you were arrested and charged with criminal trespassing. You were in jail for a day or two, weren't you?
Yeah, 23 hours. They finally then posted my bond and stuff and let me get out.
And what were the cops saying to you? Did they think this was funny at all?
Well, the security for the queue, while I was at the queue, like right after they arrested me, they took me down to like a holding cell underneath the court, and I had to sit down there and just listen to cheers and stuff. I didn't know what was going on the rest of the game. And then they served me my ban there because I'm banned for the queue for life, but I can appeal it after a year. But they served me that there, and then they handed me over to the Cleveland City Police Department, and they took me away. And like the people at the queue were really pissed off. I think it was more because I made them look bad than anything. But then once I got put in the hands of the police, they were actually really like nice and a lot nicer than the people at the queue. They were telling me that they wish they could just let me go, and it was dumb that they were making them take me to jail over it, and that this is the first time they actually felt sorry that they had to take someone to jail, and they were joking with me and being pretty nice about the situation.
If anything, I mean, I know you're a big Cleveland sports fan. I mean, no disrespect to you or the Cavaliers. I gotta think this was probably one of the best things that that happened to the Cavaliers this season.
Yeah, I heard that too. A lot of people told me that. Some of the funniest comments I heard were people were telling me that they should have let me stay on the court and took Luke Walton away and all this other stuff. So it was pretty fun.
Now, Jason Peakson of the Cleveland Browns actually helped you out and paid your fines. Is that right?
Yes, Jason Jason did. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him probably about 3-4 years now. He was at the game. I actually been playing Xbox with him about the week before, and I mentioned about LeBron and the Heat coming, and he said that he was going to try to go to the game, but I never knew for sure if he was going. And then my seats were about 12 rows behind the Heat bench, so when I was during warm-ups down low taking pictures, I seen him getting escorted to his courtside seat, so I shouted out his name and talked to him for a second. And then when I ran on the court, apparently I didn't get to see it at the time because I was getting taken away and whatnot, but he tweeted that he was going to pay for my fines. And he actually got a hold of my sister and then got in contact with my parents and was on the phone with my mom and kind of helped her not worry as much and talk to her the rest of the night.
Now that's awesome. And if you don't mind me asking, how much money did you have to owe?
With court cost and everything else, it ended up being $382.
Wow. And you know, I'm sure it was worth it. Was it worth it?
Yeah, I don't have any regrets. The only thing I regret is probably not running around a little longer. But
now it looks like you were trying to stopped. Give the first security guard a quick move, like you're trying to juke him real quick. But then it looked like you're like, all right, let me slow down.
Yeah, because I kind of looked around and I seen all the cops coming from every direction, and I was gonna hit him with a little spin move and try to get away just so more people could see what my shirt said. Because that's what, after I talked to LeBron, that's what I was doing, was kind of making my way towards half court more to show my shirt. And then I seen all the cops coming. I was like, this ain't gonna go good, so I'm just gonna go and cooperate now.
You guys are listening to Sportsman Radio. I'm your host, Chris Schanfeld, talking with James Blair, a.k.a. the Court Rusher. James, did you know that you would get as much exposure as you had? I mean, I know you've done interviews and stuff like this already. Before this all happened, I don't even think you had 1,000 followers on Twitter. Now you almost have 7,000. Again, did you expect to get this much exposure?
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was going to be that big at all. I figured, it'd just be whoever was at the game seen it, because I know they have a delay, so I was like, they're going to probably just cut it out or cut away or whatnot. I never figured it'd be as big as it was, and I actually didn't even know how big it was until after, my second phone call I got when I called my parents, and then my mom kind of gave me a heads up, this is a lot bigger than you're going to believe, and kind of gave me a heads up, and I was like, wow.
Now, last and final question for you, James. I really appreciate your time tonight, man. I can't believe you're on a radio show while your guy LeBron James is actually playing a game right now. I know we got lucky it's halftime, but do you expect, your shirt, it said, "We miss you 2014, come back." When LeBron James is a free agent in 2014, do you believe he might actually come back to his hometown and play for the Cleveland Cavaliers again?
I do think there's a possibility, just because of the new salary cap and the fact that they might not be able to keep all of them, plus the young stars that they got in the Cavs now. But I do think LeBron will finish his career in Cleveland and end up retiring here. It's just a matter of when. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
All right, and of course we got the second half about to begin, Bulls and Miami. What are your take on this series? Can the Bulls actually surprise the world?
I don't think the Bulls can surprise. The Heat, after that long delay, they kind of came in and played real lazy. They got out-rebounded. They only shot about 29% from the threes. So I knew that the first game was more of a wake-up call for them. But I really like the physical play tonight, and this is just true playoff basketball right now, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm a true Chicago Bulls fan, James, and I'm a realist. I actually thought the Heat would beat the Bulls in 5 games. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 6, but I see the Heat winning this game as well. James, the second half is about to begin. I really appreciate your time tonight. Maybe we can have you on the show again in the future to talk some NBA, talk about LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers, whatever you'd like. It'd be great to have you back on. Before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to plug on the air for our listeners?
No, whenever you want, as long as I'm free, I have no mind. It doesn't bother me at all. I'll call in whenever. As long as I'm not doing anything important or busy, I'll call in whenever you want. So just let me know on Twitter, and we can do this again as soon as you want.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it. Take care.
No problem. You too.